Hello everyone, welcome to Selena's Corner. Today we will discuss MCQs based on B.Ed Second Year Course 203. In this video we shall discuss Unit 2 of this course and this will be part 1 of the video and part 2 will be uploaded shortly. So let's begin. Question 1. An impairment, physical, mental, emotional, that restricts one's ability to participate in society is called dash, poverty, disability, accident or malnutrition. The correct answer is option B, disability. If a person in a wheelchair cannot go up the steps, which model of disability would suggest that ramps should be built for ease of access? Medical model, social model, identity model or moral model? The correct answer is option B, social model. So there are these various models of disability, okay? So the social model over here says that it is not the problem of this individual who is called disabled. It is the society's inability to cater to his needs. So let's take the example of this person in a wheelchair. He wants to go, suppose, on the floor which is 10 steps away. He is unable to go because he is on a wheelchair and he cannot go up. Imagine yourself, who is an abled person, if you had to reach the same place but there were no stairs. How would you go there? You wouldn't be able to go, right? Would you be called disabled? No, it is the inefficiency of that building that it cannot cater to your needs. You need those steps to go up. Similarly, this person needs a ramp to go up. He is just differently abled. This is what the social model of disability is trying to say, that our society has been built in a way which is easy and accessible for abled people, but it is not accessible for people who have different needs. Question 3. What does the medical model of disability say? Option A. It views disability as a problem of the person. Option B. Sees the issue of disability as a socially created problem. Option C. The idea of disability is imposed over impairment via negative attitudes and social barriers. Option D. Looks to personal identity to define disability. Here, we already know that option B is of social model because it sees the issues of disability as a socially created problem. Our correct answer here is option A. It views disability as a problem of the person. So take the example from the previous question, that is the person in a wheelchair. A medical model would say that it is the problem of the person. He is disabled and hence he should go to a facility and get his disability cured, kind of. So in that case, what would he do? He would get a kind of wheelchair that has this special capability which can be used to climb up steps. It has not been invented, I suppose, but this is what the idea of medical model says. So in the case of a person who is disabled due to uh, visual impairedness, what should he do? He should not stay in the society which is not made for him, because he is the one who has a problem. He is disabled. So he should go to the doctor, get a surgery or LASIK or whatever else he needs or requires to get away with his disability and then re-enter society. This is the viewpoint of medical model of disability. Question 4. All of the following cause disabilities except dash. Option A. Lack of funds, that means poverty. Option B. Poor access to health care. Option C. Genetics. Or option D. Exercise. Correct answer would be exercise, because genetics and poor health you can easily understand. Lack of funds, that is poverty, leads to a lot of situations where that person is the most vulnerable, because he is forced to go out and work in unsafe environments where there is poor sanitation, there is a lot of crowd and living conditions are not too great. He has very little access to education, clean water, nutritious food, and all this leads to there can be causes of disability. He falls ill, he meets with accidents, etc. So poverty is also one of the causes. Question 5. Depression, anger and blame are dash effects of disability. Feelings effect, psychological effect, emotional effect or sensational effect. Correct answer is option C. Emotional effects of a disability. Question 6. Positive effects of a disability. Option A. Limitation on body movement or action. Option B. Inferiority complex. Option C. Awkward behavior of friends and family. Or option D. Community coming together in support. So there is no real explanation needed over here because option D is the obvious answer. So in an example, let's say if there are kids in the neighborhood who are suffering from ADHD. So if people from the community itself decide that we need to help these kids out and they come up with innovative measures to do just that. So maybe um, meditation classes or anything that would help these kids and make their lives a little easier or better or happier, this would be a positive change for them, wouldn't it? So the community coming together in helping these people to come out of depression or to remain healthy and live a peaceful, happy life is always a positive effect of anything, not just disability. Question 7. Loss of hearing and sight is called dash. Option A. Visual impairment. Option B. Hearing impairment. Option C. Unisensory impairment. Or option D. Multisensory impairment. Since here the cases of impairment in two of the senses, that is hearing and sight, the correct answer would be option D. Multisensory impairment. Question 8. If a person who requires a hearing aid and augments his understanding with lip reading, etc., speaks in shortened sentences, then he is at which level of hearing impairment? There are four levels, that is mild, moderate, severe, or profound. The mild one is where the person can hear almost everything, but in case he is not looking at the speaker or if there is some kind of background noise, then he may incorrectly hear that person. That is mild. Moderate will be this person has difficulty while listening to the speaker, even if the speaker is standing close by. And uh, since he is having difficulty, very subconsciously, he looks at the lip movement or body, he looks at the body language of that person and understands what a person is speaking. Since they have uh, problems with listening to that person speak, they automatically learn few things that they don't learn a few things. So while speaking, they miss out on the word endings or they omit certain articles or stuff. Okay. Then there comes severe hearing impairment. Here, the student or the person requires a hearing aid and he has to use lip reading or body language reading to augment his understanding. So, since he is so short on hearing, he is unable to form complete sentences, and that's why whatever little he has learned by listening, that he uses those words in shortened sentences to communicate. And then the last one is profound. Profoundly deaf are people who use a hearing aid, but more than that, they rely on visual cues, that means sign language or body language to communicate. These students, since they have basically not heard anyone speak very clearly, they can't hear properly. So they haven't learnt the language, they are unable to speak. But with a lot of practice and help, certain people sometimes they have good oral skills. By good, I would mean they can make do, sort of. Question 9. Match. So on the left side, you have all these vision related problems, and on the right side would be their explanation. You have to match the two. First one, myopia. I would need this pen. Okay. Myopia is very common. So that is nearsightedness. You can see the objects that are close to you and far away things you can't see. The correct answer will be option 2, close objects visible. Next would be strabismus. You must have seen these people who uh, so both their eyes are not looking at the same object. one eye will be looking in one direction and the other eye will be in another direction. So it could be both the eyes are towards the inner part of the eye, or they're both towards the outside, or one is normal and one is in some other direction. That is strabismus. So they are also called cross-eyed eyes or squint. So that is point number 5. Then amaurosis is total or partial blindness where you can't see any visible changes in the eyes. So the eyes look absolutely normal, but that person is either partially or totally blind. This is amaurosis. This happens due to nerve, nerve end injuries or spinal cord injury, head injury, etc. Then fourth one, that is monocular, is normal vision in one eye. So one eye is perfectly normal and there is a problem with the other one. Last one, hypermetropic. This is also very common. This happens usually in older people. This is farsightedness. So they can see far away things, but things that are close to them like text or small details, they are unable to see. So our correct answer according to this would be 2, 5, option C, 25413. Question 10. Totally blind and legally blind are interchangeable terms. The correct answer is option B, false, because a totally blind person's eyes have very little or no sensitivity to light at all, and this condition is very rare. Whereas a legally blind person, first of all, has a visual acuity of 20 over 200. That means if a person with normal vision can see something from 200 feet away, then this legally blind person can see it at 20 feet away or less than 20. The second thing being the field of vision. So a person with normal vision has a field of 180 degrees approximately. But a legally blind person has only 20 degrees of field of vision. So you see the difference. A person is called legally blind. So the law makes a category that if a person whose visual acuity is 20 over 200 or his field of vision is just 20 degrees, then he will be legally called blind. Question 11. Low vision can be corrected using eyeglasses, lenses, surgery or exercise. Low vision people are people whose visual acuity is 20 over 70. So if you can see it at 70 feet, they can see it at 20 feet or less. Low vision cannot be corrected using eyeglasses or lenses. So such people need either surgery or some kind of medical treatment to get it corrected. That too, it's not guaranteed. Question 12. All except dash are effects of sensory impairment on child development. Option A, dementia. Option B, language delays. Option C, delayed fine motor skills. And option D, lack of coordination. So options B, C and D are effects of sensory impairment. So it could either be visually impaired or hearing impaired or some other senses as well. So spatial impairment or taste, any kind of sensory impairment may lead to these three development problems. But dementia is not one of them. So that's our answer. Question 13. According to Dash, orthopedic impairment involve physical disabilities which could affect the academic progress. Option A, WHO, option B, IDEA, option C, UNESCO, or option D, UNICEF. The correct answer is option B, IDEA. That is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. They said that orthopedic impairment is the physical disability which could affect the academic process of that person. Question 14. Cerebral palsy is a kind of dash impairment, neuromotor, degenerative, musculoskeletal, or intellectual. Correct answer is neuromotor. So it is a set of neurological conditions that cause physical disability in human development. It affects the brain as well as the nervous system. Question 15. Lack of oxygen during birth can cause dash, spina bifida, bone tuberculosis, cerebral palsy, or polio. So polio, as you know, is caused due to a virus which attacks the body and causes paralysis. Bone tuberculosis is when you contract tuberculosis and it spreads outside your lungs and attacks the bone and spinal cord, so that causes bone tuberculosis. Spina bifida is a birth defect when the child his spinal cord is not formed properly. It causes spina bifida. Our correct answer, that's why, is option C, cerebral palsy. So during birth, if there's a lack of oxygen, oxygen doesn't reach that baby's brain, and this could be caused. Thank you everyone for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. And if you are already a happy subscriber, then please like and share my videos. Thanks.